And there we go. Alright. Or Ace Attorney. Stretching. Alright. Let's see. Let's get the game up. Press enter. I'm gonna wait a little bit for... Ah, fuck, I just accidentally opened Photoshop. God damn it. I really should not have put that right next to my messaging program. I really should not have put that next to Gilded. Okay. Oh, howdy. Away from keyboard. Wait, why are you away from keyboard? What's up? You are AFK, right? You can't respond to me. Need to turn the game volume down for me by just adjusting my headphone volume. I had something I want to discuss first. Oop. Alright, I'm just gonna... Oh, howdy! Welcome. So, I had an idea. So, it's Pride Month. Happy Pride Month. As such, to celebrate, I have decided that I need to have some sort of, like, festive adornment or something. So I have added this image to the stream. This will certainly not be distracting or ill-fitting of what is about to happen in the game. Bit fruity. I put it in the upper corner so that way it doesn't like cover up the text or anything. That seemed like the let's make that a little smaller. A little smaller. Bit fruity. Literally. Yeah, sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. So, today we're probably gonna end up finishing this case. Like, I don't think there's much left of this case. And I think this is the last case in the first game. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Also, game sound I think is gone. Ah, fuck! I forgot to I forgot to turn audio on. Whoopsies, my bad. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. Phoenix and Edgeworth staring at Gumshoe for interrupting their totally not gay discussion. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. I take it Lana's having you run errands again. Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Yeah, she asked me to give this to you if there was a break in today's trial. What is that? Is that like a fucking children's book on fucking how the, the court system works? Evidence law. Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day. You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. You can at least study some evidence law, really! I didn't catch it the first time, but I really love the fucking detail that she's like, wow, is that true? And then he's like, yeah, I guess. And she's just like, wow, you should have read it, as if she didn't also not read it, and she plans to be an investigator. The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book. Him. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. Evidence law securely slipped into pocket. Doesn't look like that book'll do you any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown at me. Mr. Edgeworth. The real trial today hasn't begun yet. What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. And the Sky found out she unwittingly caused a man's death. And now, you're telling me you want to do more? Poor Edgeworth, yeah. You've got to be kidding me, pal! You're missing the point, Detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're going to expose him. No matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. February 25th, 12:52, District Court, Courtroom Number 9. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. The Inquiry Committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. What the fucking hell? Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well, ahem. Normally, this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness, but, ahem. This isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have, struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses? I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking and... Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. A solution? That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses. What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing. I thought they do that. I thought both sides could call witnesses. Like, I thought that was how it worked. I mean, obviously maybe it's different in Japan, but... Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? True, but I guess Japan law, or Ace Attorney law. Well, I mean, from what I've heard, this game was intended to be like a parody/criticism of Japan's law system, so... Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well, the defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Then it's settled. The, defense may now call forth the next witness. Mr. Wright, you do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. what a thing to say. The defense calls. The time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. Oh, okay, well then that's easy. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? That's a threat, yeah. As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? True. Alright, bailiff, whack his peep. Please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. I forgot the voice I did for him. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. Bailiff whack his pee-pee. So, you want to play hardball, eh? Please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name's Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto. What's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. Bailiff OMG blushes. There's still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Sure, take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony. SL9 incident. Ooh. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Is that when Doc was arrested? Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious. Oof. What a way to die. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Doc bumped his head. Forgery? Yes, forgery. Did I say something wrong? I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut. If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I better hit him hard and fast. Excuse me, a little burp there. Just gonna start pressing him on every little detail. As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day. Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that. Was the defendant Lana Skye also present in the room? I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it. So the two of you ran immediately after him, right? That's right, but Dark made it to the elevator first. So Neil and I split up. No, I forgot how far we're in the story. I thought we haven't know who actually killed Neil like that time, and I was like, why is this man saying these? He makes himself very sus. Yeah, we're that far in. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say he got lucky. What's this about a power outage? Oh, that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil when that knife went through his heart, though. That's not funny. Could you tell us what you saw? It was a shocking sight. Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together. Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor. Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Oh boy, back just in time. Next to them were those two poor girls. Lana and Emma. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. Nice dog. Thanks. How can you know that? Because of the victim's body. It had already been moved. So that means you found the body near Lana's desk. That's right. I think you said earlier. It was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor. Yes. Anyway. So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office? That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt. Moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable, no matter what the circumstances. Is that how it really went down? Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, you'd be better off staring at the court record. Worthy, always the smooth talker. But which piece of evidence ties Gant to the forgery? Lana did admit to forging evidence, but that can't be the whole truth. Somehow I've got to link Gant to the incident. Alright, let's see what we've got. Found at prosecutor's office crime scene. The halberd was removed at Gant's behest, giving it its current form. Maybe that is my guess, but let's see what else we've got. These are all to do with the current one. IDs of all who entered, recovers fingerprints from him, brought back to his office, that's not it. Only the, Edgeworth envious Phoenix was staring at Gant, yeah. I honestly half thought he was gonna say, yeah, if you want to be staring at something, you should be staring at me. And I was like, yeah, I thought he was gonna say that, basically, is what I'm saying. Let's see. Okay, I think maybe this. I'm gonna really quickly save though, just in case, even though I've never died in this yet. I think if we get to the... Okay, and then we present the fact that he tore up the evidence list. Because it was found in his desk, even though... What are the 2 rules? Shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Okay. Okay, so my guess is maybe this. Because why else is it in his desk if he wasn't involved with hiding the evidence? You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this list, for example. That's the list Emma Skye drew her picture on. This was discovered in your desk. Not only that, but a piece of this jar that was sitting in your office was found inside your safe. It was found where? You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. Chief Gant, what's the meaning of this? Huh? He's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery? Who, me? Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Oh, this motherfucker. Oh, this motherfucker. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. What? Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work! Very well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office, and the relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My. Kids these days no longer know how to put 2 and 2 together. Oh, that is a bug on my wall. Hold on. One second. Let me just deal with that real quick. Get that clean. There we go, dealt with. Kids these days, judge old as fuck. Yeah, the judge is older than he is. Let's see, what was it now? Jar fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand that I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequences. Indeed, I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know. Alright, Udgy, in return, though. I know, that place, right? Huh? What? What are these guys, telepathic? Life bug assassination. Evidence of forgery. Okay, let's do another little quick save real quick. I'd appreciate it if you'd stop making these ridiculous allegations. Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that. What? Phoenix, now is not the time. Now is not the time. I'll have you know, back in the day, I once broke into a cattle ranch and tipped... Mr. Wright, what are you saying? Anyway, you can't prove you didn't carry in the evidence, can you? If you have proof to the contrary, you're going to need it later. Later? What are you talking about? What else? I'm talking about when Righto's prints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, they would prove his investigation was illegal. Never faced anyone as slimy as this guy. What do you mean by that? This is all purely hypothetical, of course, but suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery, I'm not through speaking yet, Righto. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered. That's called obstruction of justice. Ha ha ha. Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced. Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient? Right. The chief is talking about a possibility, so long as you can't rule that out. Your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. Tell me something I don't know. Go now, Righto. Think about it. How can you look me in the eye and say that? Because I'm innocent. Remember? Who was it that murdered Neil? I'm not sure I care for the word murder here, but in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye. Well, now do you see? Really, Chief Gant, at the very least, there is one very large benefit you've reaped from all this. Oh, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would, of course, be the position you have, Chief of Police. Oh, the resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. Oh, ho, ho. Oh, that's a good one. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth? Yes. He was going to be made chief anyway. Ah! Be careful when pointing that finger. You might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it's out in the open now. Aji, would you mind if I changed my testimony a little? By all means, please do. Excuse me. I'm gonna press again on it just to do it, but then actually, do I have anything possibly? Yeah, I think I need to press. Nothing in it for you. Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, wasn't. You think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again. You're right, you don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people, that's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out? Yes. Me saving like every 3 fucking seconds. Sure, you might not help out anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone. Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the Chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand. That's not what I meant. Very well then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped for evidence? Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye, the defendant? I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. Self-profit? What do you mean? After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed Chief Prosecutor at the Prosecutor's Office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant. But how would he profit from all of this? He would be able to use the Chief Prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. Do you mean to tell me that despite the Chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? How are you a judge? Oh, wait. You must mean puppet, as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind. Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Skye in forging evidence. Your motive to appoint her as Chief Prosecutor so you could control her. Righto, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana. She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant. I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless that is also what happened in this incident. This incident, or which one would that be? Of course I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The Chief Prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Just what do you mean? What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement. What? Order. As I said, order. As I said, I don't know where the as comes from. Mr. Wright, you can't be serious. Huh? This is an affront to the highest-ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the Chief of Police of blackmail and murder? That's, impossible. Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier-to-understand language. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. It looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this. Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder? Damn, did Nick fucking stutter, you crotchety old cut? Good question. Regardless of his rank of title, Chief Gant is just a man. A miserable little pile of secrets. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. I see. Alright then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got, and it better be good. Yeah, it better be. Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman. Okay, Oh, it's this. Wouldn't it be this? It's probably this. Cause that's his ID at the top. This is the ID card list. Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 777-7777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number. What? How do you know that? The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code. 7 digits, you don't mean? I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 777-7777. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. Nick, you're proving you broke into his safe. Yeah, that wouldn't really cut it in, that wouldn't really cut it in the real world. I'm pretty sure, like, a real court of law, that would immediately cause the evidence to, yeah, none of this would cut in the real world. Like, this would immediately be like, yeah, we can't use this evidence because it was obtained through illegal means. Order, order. Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations. And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it. You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. What about it? I'm chief of police, whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom. What's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. He shit in the evidence room? You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant. I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? The trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt. No, it isn't, Your Honor. The trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime. Hmm. Can I make? Is it maybe? No, I may. No, I don't think so. The thing doesn't line up. Died within an hour and a half of 4 p.m. Victim's memo found in the car trunk. Is it not in the evidence list still? Is what? The parking lot with Edgeworth's car. Is it not in, is it in the evidence list? The... This one? I don't know how that would tie the fact that Goodman, that... No? You passed it. Was it maybe the fact that the locker... I think it's the note because the 221 is the date now. Oh, yeah. It might be. Wait, it's not that? Okay. Is it this? Because it says it can only be submitted to the chief of police. Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have had to give that report to the chief of police. Yet you are in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure if he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh! Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him? That was nice. There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on, let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the chief of police, murdered poor Goodman. Yes, exactly. But wait! The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. Yeah. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of this sort. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really... If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body. What's that Sprite? What's that Sprite? Chief Gant, you didn't. The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting, Mr. Wright, that the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office's parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey you, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. He used the Blue Badger, didn't he? He used the fucking Blue Badger, didn't he? That's my guess. He's like, he got the Blue Badger, and then he, like, used it to move the body, is my guess. Like, he hit the body. Like, it's the... Like, what else do we have? Like, You left all of the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time, I thought it was a useless clue just taking up space! God damn it. Fucking hell. How could the chief have moved the body? Well, if I'm correct... Mr. Wright, show us this evidence. To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this. Well... It is, isn't it? It's a Blue Badger, isn't it? I see. Maybe I'll use this later. To move your dead body, Mr. Wright. Huh? What? That isn't it! What? Chief Gant stayed at the PD and Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office. Blech. I'm an idiot. I figured it out. I think I know what it is. This is how we moved Detective Goodman's body. What's that? A screwdriver? But what does that have to do with this case? Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is this screwdriver doing here? It's here because... I'm a bigger idiot, I didn't figure it out. I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office. But you did, because Chief Gant asked you to. You mean The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Yes, unless of course you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? See, when it says, like, useless piece of evidence, you would think that means the Blue Badger, right? Like, the screwdriver seemed less useless than the Blue Badger. No, because the Blue Badger is Pug. Okay. There's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye... Order, order, order! What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations? Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It's a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something. I believe... Your time's up. My time's up? Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're going to make it in time for the early bird special. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify, I'm invoking that right now. What is that? That is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. So you're going to just run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, You think I allowed to dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. And I'm currently saving my game. This court will not tolerate any accusation against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright? Your Honor. Do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Skye dispose of his body? Do I have any concrete proof? Yes, because if I didn't, this game would be over. I can't let him just squirm his way out of this. I've got to keep the pressure on. Yes, Your Honor. I do have such evidence. Then please hurry up and present it. Just remember, it's better prove Chief Goodman murdered Detective Goodman beyond a shadow of a doubt. My guess is this, maybe? Yeah, my guess is maybe the knife. Wait, an animal shoe. Death due to loss of blood. One knife wound died within between 4 p.m. and 5:30. Huh. You know what I just realized is, Okay. Something's forming in my head. An idea is forming in my head. It states in the, No, wait, wasn't he found? Yeah, he was found with a knife inside him. But, damn, a single stab... Lana must have pretty good aim to fucking manage to snap him. To fucking manage to, like, stab him immediately in the same fucking, like, stab wound without, like, making a new one. Because, like, a single stab wound was found. But she didn't want to say that, like, she took the knife, the original knife out, and then stabbed him. To, like... Wasn't it... When Lana was talking, like, confessing to us... Yeah. She has a good eye. Yeah, I guess she just has a really good eye. Because it can't be that, like, because it can't be, like, oh, he, like, killed him some other way, because then why would he then stab the knife in as well? I'm gonna present the knife. If it's not this, I might just reload it. So, what exactly is this evidence? It's proof as to whether or not it's enough to demonstrate the chief's guilt. I'll let you be the judge, but I am the judge. Oh, right. Well, what do you think, Your Honor? Yeah. Excuse me. I thought I saved closer. Yeah. Okay, keep the pressure on. Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna really quickly, in case I need to do that again. I have such evidence. Alright, so it wasn't that. Found at prosecutor's crime scene. Was removed at Gant's behest, giving it its current form. Traces of victim's blood, no prints. Death due to loss of blood, one knife wound, died within an hour. Victim's memo found in the car trunk. Finds blood traces, spray to use. IDs for all who entered. Recovers. Blah blah blah. What is it? What is it? What is it? What is this? The handprint. The print belongs to Emma. I think I'll keep this information for myself. What is that? We haven't used it yet, I don't think. Either of you have any ideas? Because I got nothing. Yeah, but smiley face. Okay. Hmm. Yep, that's him. It proved that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman beyond a shadow of a doubt. You just saw the guide? Okay, well. Just give me like a hint that I will take just a hint. For a hint, maybe just like what page of the court record is it on? 1, 2, 3. How do I make this into a hint? Just tell me the page number. Like, if you see it among the items, I will go through the items again. You see it among the items, which page of the court record is it on? None. Amorb the items. What? Wait, so was it the I don't have evidence option? Was I supposed to select that? Was I supposed to select the... Was I supposed to select the I don't have evidence option? Because if so, I like... okay, I had to... Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Oh, fuck, this is all the way back here. Hold on, let's just spam really quickly through this. Hi. Bruh. This is why I save a bunch. Seriously, how do I make that a hint? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I know. This court will not tolerate any against some that concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright, Your Honor, do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gam murdered Detective Goodman? Do I have any concrete proof? No. Intense clicking of gas mask? Yeah. That's no use showing evidence I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence. CIG? In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief. What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, Righto. Seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Reggie, I'll leave the rest to you. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency. What? Lady Luck, maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony. A lady who knows the truth, another witness. In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony. But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify. There's still someone else, one more witness who can answer all the questions. Raised in this trial, someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person? Humph. Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? She may not be willing to tell the truth, but we can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth... Are we calling forth Lana? Because it said she may not be willing to tell the truth, so I only assume it's Lana. The defendant, Miss Lana Skye, she was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 p.m. on February 21st. Where asking me the defense is calling witnesses today, okay. Her task, to dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with a certain someone's orders. Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. Very well, the court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now in Hold on. Huh? Chief Gant, I thought you were going to eat. Listen good, Lana. He's talking to Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty of Neil Marshall's murder. No what? She would be at most charged with manslaughter. You need for murder, you need, like, actual, like, intent. Like, this would be manslaughter. This isn't good. Of course, you never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. Alright, then. I've got a lunch date to meet. He literally just threatened someone in court. Yeah, literally. Okay, if there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess. February 25th, 2:04 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 2. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. That chief. He's something else, eh, pals? Detective Gumshoe? I'm not a detective anymore. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Don't worry, I've already decided where to work now. How can you not be a detective anymore? Your name is Dick Gumshoe. At your office. My office? Sure. I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. What do you mean? Maya? Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand? It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said. But Chief, that is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Risks? What did he mean by that? It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean he forfeits his right to say anything, too? Emma, are you okay? Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. Relieved? Yeah. Now I finally know what really happened. Dick as a support sounds cute, especially when he's the one throwing the confettis. To think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside. To force herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold. Yes, that is literally what he just said. It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see. Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act. Gumshoe Joker moment. Emma, why don't you wait here? No, I'm going with you. I want to be there when Lana tells the truth. Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this. It's time to end this. We're getting near the end of the trial, which means the end of the game. Well, the first game. This is the trilogy. I bought the whole trilogy. Save your progress up to this point. Yes. I do want to save my progress up until this point. February 25th, 2:21 p.m., District Court, Courtroom number 9. Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, please take the stand? Miss Lana Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Skye. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. God, hold on. Taking a drink. I should have probably grabbed water instead, but too late now. We're already fucking an hour into stream. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant. Everything hinges on your testimony. It's the only chance we have to get Gant. Gant and the fabrication. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. Do you not have water? Not to drink at the moment. I could just go get some, probably, but it's fine. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Are you sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana! If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. But what if she's telling the truth? She's not. She's not. I know my own sister. What Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah, we know. I can tell. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Gant in the fabrication. Let's start with just fucking pressing on everything. How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years. Detective Gant and Detective Sky were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases. She must have been good coming from the same school as Mia. Damon Gant was a respectable detective, that's why. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. That's a lie. He's not respectable in the slightest. But think about it, Miss Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And... Did you do so to help your sister? Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lana... So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago. You say you did this all by yourself. Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? Something like that. If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. All just to protect me. So, well, I guess the dog is appropriate. For what's happening in chat. So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yes. What? You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the victim's wound, and then you moved the body? But why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of the others. Why did you move the body? When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? The reason for that is simple. Let's have it the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Sky moved the body. The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. My sister's lying. It looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. I thought there would be more, and then she ended it. Yeah, we got that one. How? How did they shatter? Pieces of the jar, you mean? Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body. So, when you first found the body, the jar was already... Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you look at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead, and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during the struggle. I see. What's the matter, Emma? Apparently the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. But I have a feeling there's more to it than that. There must be a contradiction here somewhere. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it, period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk the death sentence? She's lying. She did it. She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying. Yeah, I know. Okay, so I think I pressed everything. So let's see, what do we got? Hmm. Evidence for something, but what? Can I ask the other question? Why would you do that? Why'd you plant the knife? But why did you do that? Come now, Mr. Wright. Even you should be able to figure it out. Very well, let's add this to the witness's testimony. The reason Miss Guy fabricated the knife... There we go. I knew the tip of the weapon found buried in his body would be all the proof we needed. According to your testimony, Prosecutor Marshall's broken knife was the murder weapon, right? Yes, and leaving it at that might point that blame away from Dark. I felt the most effective way to get him convicted would be by having the tip of his knife found inside the victim's body. So you buried it inside the victim's stab wound? Yes. Because I hated Dark for what he did. Hmm. According to your testimony, it was a broken knife was the murder weapon, right? I might point the blame away from Dark. I felt the most effective way to get him convicted would be by having the tip of his knife found inside the victim's body. So you buried it inside the victim's stab wound? Yes. Because I hated Dark for what he did. Single stab wound, piercing, heart/lung. Died from blood loss in under 10 minutes. Weapon found in wound was missing tip. So it says the weapon was found in the body. Wouldn't that mean that... Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright, let's just go back and do all the... I can't think of anything, so I'm just gonna... Ah, shit. We did this one. No truth to this blackmail theory. Photo at the awards ceremony. Executive investigators, head of... Yeah, this doesn't tell me anything. Oh, where's the other... Oh. Hold on. So you do this all by yourself. Yeah. Yeah, it's not this one either. It's the next one, I think. It's the one where she talks about moving the body. Wait, no, where's the... Then moved the body, okay. Yeah. And then move the body, and then give me the move body one. I think it's like, because it's the jar. Why did you move the body? Where exactly was the victim's body? By Chief Gant's desk. But the body was found at your desk. Why'd you move it there? The reason for that is simple. Why did they threaten your plan? You mean... Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier in order to show that Dark committed the crime. Felt it would be more expedient to move the body. So, when you first found the body, the jar was already... Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. You looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. You know, Marcia was dead and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle. Yeah, it's that. So it's something with the jar. I think either we use it here or maybe on the next sentence. Save. Alright. Let's try it here. Ooh. Miss Guy, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right. Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on the jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not have yet been broken before he died. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. Order, order! Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing at something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well, the witness may now continue her testimony. Jar and message in blood. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood? I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Alright, let's go. Start to press everything. Q, Q, Q. So the jar was already broken. It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier. It certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case, but not as feeble as the judge's judgment. You're an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces? Normally I would have. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust. Well, that helps my case. Lana, you do that for me? It seems you two might make up yet. Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was. If someone happened upon this scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry. I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came. This is rather shocking. You're telling me. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened. What do you mean? If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation? Lana, I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office. A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go. I never miss anything. I got every last piece. No, you didn't. Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of the jar in Chief Gant's safe. In the Chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them. Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has those days. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Ha! Can you believe that? -2. Okay. Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, this jar was already broken. Oh, that! There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar? The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide the fact for 2 years? This fucking show movie. Well, Your Honor, can you answer that? Yeah. No! Wait, I'm not the one on trial here. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar, and purposefully hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence. But why would Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Sky believed her sister Emma has killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark. Sparing Emma, and therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Sky became the Chief's puppet. No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the Chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client. I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth. Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap? Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Lana may be right after all. What do you mean, right? So you do tell foul lies, Mr. Wright? Miss Sky, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Sky, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. Alright, the witness may testify once more for the final time. Actual crime scene. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor sword. You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright, she really does have faith in you. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture. It's in the book. It's in the book. It's in the book. It's in the book, isn't it? I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere. That's not what I meant to click. Cool. That's bloody. Hey, there's a picture here. Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw the crime scene like this. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had arranged everything. There's a chunk of his fucking outfit missing. There's a chunk of his goddamn vest. His fucking vest jacket thing. I don't know what they're called. Crime scene photo taken 2 years ago. Mr. Wright! That piece cut out from his vest. Could that be the cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe? What's this? This is a handprint, isn't it? That cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whosever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. What? But those fingerprints, they're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. As long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flesh out the real murderer. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Actual crime scene. She doesn't know it's hers, though. Because Wright didn't mention it. Oh! Come now, Edgy. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Chief Gant? What, now you want to make me out as the bad guy, too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. the fucking sprite. So what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't. But someone does. Someone? So, what's your excuse, Righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Is this true, Mr. Wright? Do I have anything else, please? I don't think I do. I show that piece of evidence now. I'm sure to be made out as the murderer. Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now, and if you try to conceal anything, you'll be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. I'm gonna save. I will present it, because I think we are supposed to do that, but just in case. What do I do now? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? One that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall. Because, like, the fact that he knows it exists already is super fucking suspicious. And just proves that he got to the scene of the murder before Lana. Oh, but Lana will probably, but she already made a test. I'm gonna go through with it. I'm gonna show it. Yes, Your Honor. I do have further evidence. Alright, the time's finally come to show it to them. Those prints have gotta be the Chief's. They're not. Now then, let's see this conclusive evidence, the evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. Do I literally have anything else? I don't, do I? Sorry, I don't know what to do. Alright. Let's just present it. What, am I not supposed to do this? Why are you putting the smiley face? It's a piece of leather cloth. Yes, it most likely was cut from the victim's vest near his chest. What's this? There's a big handprint on it. Surely it must have been left on the cloth by whoever shoved the victim into the sword. What? Why did I use that voice? What? Whose fingerprints are on this? I'm sure Righto has checked. Haven't you? Well, whose are they? I don't know what else we were supposed to do there, so... They're Miss Skies. Miss Emma Skies. What? They're mine? So I really did do it. See, I told you it was conclusive. But this was found in your safe. That means it's possible you forged it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any cloth in my safe. Do you really expect me to believe that? But... give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over. It's not. You shouldn't have presented that. By presenting that evidence, you tied Emma Skye to Neil Marshall's death. But no. Well, I'm gonna fucking reload then. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. Oh, it's like, is it like a, yeah, is it supposed to be, what is it like, yeah, whatever. What? You lie. Chief Gent. You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know his fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. Yeah, I should have figured it was that. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Righto. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit to it? I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana. So you really were manipulating her? I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, now when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted Miss Skye. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I had 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe? But why? For insurance, of course. Insurance. I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't meant to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for, fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I had the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood of all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar too? Oh, some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come on, Righto, cough it up already. I know you have it. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you admit to it then, Chief Gant, that you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe. Yes, I admit it. I don't want to have to do that, but being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Wright. You should have shown it then before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. Show evidence, cannot show evidence. Oh, the choices. I'm gonna go cannot again. This time. Actually, maybe showing it now is the right choice. Yeah, I'll show it for it. I'll try doing the right. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. What if I just show a different piece of evidence? What if I showed this instead? Obviously, probably wouldn't do anything because this is just the current one. Yeah. I mean, I just saved, so I can just do whatever. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh, yes. At last you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that be immediately sent to the labs for analysis. This handprint on the leather. There must have been a strong impact for it to have been left so clearly. You mean... it could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. Oh, you're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Wright had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that. Mr. Wright, do you really know? Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well. I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person to whom these prints belongs to is Emma. Damn, he's 65. Emma Skye? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why didn't you tell me? Oh, you're really something, Righto. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true, tragic but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. How could you, you monster? No, no. Miss Skye, you knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Skye, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Ah, but I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career, too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, and what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Skye, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. So that's the 5 other games in this series. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is. And I definitely know that, and that's definitely why I'm saving. I remember the point of this one. Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. Is it the picture? It's not covered in blood. What exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Skye took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out. Yes, his shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood, that's only natural. His lungs no doubt were punctured, blood poured out his mouth. Oh, but that piece of the cloth! Wait, there's no blood on it. Ah! Since Emma Skye's fingerprints were on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Miss Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. No, this is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Skye? Whoa, whoa, random cough. Picked up the unconscious prosecutor and impaled him on the armor's sword. Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they had then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue. And make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest. Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. God, that spray is so fucking over the top. It's great. It's finally all over. Oh, his vibrators malfunction. Don't say that. Don't say that. Also, he's fucking turned into. Oh, that was close, Righto. You almost had me. Poor little meow meow. How did I know? How did I know? Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see that piece of cloth? It's illegal evidence. Order, order! What nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Udgy. Earlier, old Righto here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Righto? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. But that's not fair. Oh, did you actually think you could best me in court? Looks like the last laugh's on you, son. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright? Seems at last. The time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Mr. Wright, do you admit it? That you purposefully and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? I did not. Ray has a plan? Yeah, I guess. I wasn't informed of it. So, perhaps the lie we're going with, perhaps we're going to lie. We are going to lie. Because it says here that it says, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. We could lie and say we didn't know it was relevant yet until he admitted it was relevant. I mean, we already lied once. What's another lie? Not gonna lie, I don't remember. I'm gonna go with this first. I admit I refused to present it at one point. Ah, so the evidence is illegal. No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present evidence, then. It's that I couldn't. What do you mean you couldn't? There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. No, Udgy, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. He can't really believe. There's only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well, let us settle this once and for all. was violation of the law, then do so now. I got the book. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Just this morning, actually. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... Sorry, but can you recall when was that picture presented? That was shown only a few moments ago. No. He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut this piece of cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh yes. No. It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer, and there's only one person who that could be. Damon Gant, the killer was you. Oh my god! Oh my god, what? I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years he's been snooping around the department, trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. No, he was eating spaghetti. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Brian Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. The evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you've got to help me. Goodman turned him down as he oughta. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered. He opened his evidence locker, and as he was taking the evidence out, he said, "It's not too late. I'm going to hand all this over to Marshall." Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it. That accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor I didn't realize my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint. Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in my car. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Leaving the prosecution's car aside, how could you get Miss Sky involved in all of this? Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker. I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jar fragments in the glove. Yeah. Looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. I'm gonna hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy. Why do you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me. We're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. He won't be alone. He has Wright. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Udgy. What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. I'm sorry too, Damon Kent. I knew you as you used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator, an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Edgy. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Righto here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes? First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Guy, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years. From the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today. So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Guy. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My. What high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows, a few years from now, you just might make it to the top. I owe my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Sky. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. It was nothing. Liar. Oh my god, you guys. Fucking fruits in my chat. I was worried the pressure might break you, and yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop it, I only did my job. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky. Yes, Your Honor. You are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date. Yes, I understand, Your Honor. Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling? It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains. Well, this trial has gone on far too long already. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, not guilty. Woo! That is all. This court is adjourned. February 25th, 5:03 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. At long last, it's finally over. Emma? Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook. But at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended. I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. You've done well. You know, I did my best too, but Lana didn't say a single word to me. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run around all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding. Oh, are you here because of my sister again? Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal. Me? That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. Lana? Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell it if you won't. Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day 2 years ago. It was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in this mess. Sis, I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake. But now, I realized I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you were only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. Hiding what I believed to be the truth. I was deceiving you. Sis. I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Oh, Emma. Emma. Aw. Now we can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in so doing, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it's from there that we can move on towards a brighter future. At least that's what I felt watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe. Me? That's nice voice. Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? God, you guys are really being fruity in chat. Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here. Where was he hiding? He's just hiding behind the pillar or something. I just came to say congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right, well, I'll be going now. Social anxiety, meow meow. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. He's hiding behind the plant. It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realized today that I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth! Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I needed a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth? Who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor. Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma. We're both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made this same mistake. You said in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. Yeah! You were working together with Mr. Wright. Yeah! And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Happy Pride Month! Happy Pride Month! Huh? What? Yeah, what is this, a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright, show him what Lana's talking about. Evidence, huh? You're gonna make me something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. Yeah, partnership. And they were partners. I'd fuck it up on literally. I don't remember, but do you want me to look it up for you? Yeah, might as well. This probably doesn't really. My guess is the cloth, because otherwise. But I'll see what the actual answer is if you look it up for me. Cause I think it's fine, because this doesn't really matter. Well, I mean, it does matter for them, but it doesn't matter for gameplay. Like, I'm not gonna get penalized, probably. It's not just gonna suddenly end. Wait, no. What? Evidence list. Oh! That's the picture I drew. Our counterattack began with this. You had one half of the evidence list, and I had the other. A part we wouldn't have been able to completely restore him as picture. Whoa, we put my evidence list with your evidence list? Wow. What if we combined evidence lists and we were both boys? That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time for me to go. Mr. Edgeworth, if you'll excuse me. There are some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. He goes into the next room and just starts screaming. Edgeworth, what'll you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember. You can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know, it seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell. I'd better be going too. Okay, but I'll be by to visit soon. Seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Scientific investigation? It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will. He'll be waiting, yeah. And so, another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. Well, don't go dragging off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? It's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it might be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh? Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side. Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Wright here's the one who will be footing the bill. Huh? Huh? Well, you think I could afford that with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh? Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. Why is it I suddenly feel like I want to scream? Hey, I got an idea. I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together? Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go. Oh. Yeah. I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe to take care of Emma. I hope she'll be pleased to study under a top coroner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days as the prosecutor's office. Still, I'll manage to find my way back to the field somehow. Then, I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. Hey. Don't they need to pay Nick for defending them? Yeah. Then again, would a guy like Nick really end up charging Emma? Yikes, I thought I was a goner for a moment there. In the end, though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. If we penalized you anymore, it'd be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. It just goes to show, you can't shake me off that easily. My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show them, though. Someday I'm going to make detective. Yes, oh god. Yes, sir, then I can be just like Dick Gumshoe. Wonderful. Oh, he died. What is it? Can't you see I'm having me a showdown with a steak lunch partner? Miss Star managed to sneak this into me. She's seeing one of the guards. Well, cowboy, looks like you did it. You even gave Bambino back her smile. Can you make sure Billy and the gang get their water? Quick, who's the murderer? The Wind. Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu, the Right Way lunch. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is as sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller around. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. Brandon Gay! Happy Pride Month! I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left? Anyway, he said he's been doing, something or other for, how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I better be. Huh? Oh no, I forgot my gavel. Sorry, got to go. Maya! Ah, nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium. Sigmaya, afternoon training's about to begin. Coming! Well, see you around, Nick. Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth, I brought you your tea. What's going on? What is going on? Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book. I put a picture of her inside of it. Wait, is that actually... Well, that's a cute picture. Achievement unlocked. Rise from the ashes. Whoa. Alright. I think that's where I'm ending it. The fucking dog's still there. Cringe, start the next one. It's 11:40. I'll start the next one next time. Dog flashing in and out of existence. I think next stream we'll start the next one. Well, not the next stream. Next stream I'm probably gonna stream something else first, and then the stream afterwards. Thank you for the stream, Fruit Man. Yeah. Yeah, so thank you for coming to this... thank you for coming to my stream. Have a good.